Should you sell your Bitcoin and Ethereum for the Layer 1 altcoins? This must be a question that's in the mind of a lot of people, not just me, given how the year went. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Doesn't feel like Christmas, doesn't feel like New Year's, just feels like crypto and the questions and the reflections and what to do better in 2022. And to answer this question, we gotta cover a couple of things. Number one, what is going on for Bitcoin and Ethereum? Number two, is this really happened? Like, is this for sure solidified? Like, the layer 1s are going to really take over? Is that like real? Or is Ethereum 2 gonna come out with some kind of new thing that's still gonna take back a majority of the market share and be like, the king stays the king? So in this video, we're gonna get into exactly that. First of all, let's look at this chart, the chart of Bitcoin and what really happened this year, right? Like, through last year, there was a massive run that happened. Okay, but beginning of this year, pretty much, we got played twice. We pretty much got wiped-offed. They wiped-offed us 2 times. That's not a joke. For some of you, that's the entire year. All the bullishness and the hoorah got taken down and systematically absorbed through the ebbs and flows of this market and transmuted to what it is now. And I'm not just saying this not for nothing. I feel this. Let me show you my report. Okay, I'm downloading this directly on live from Coinbase. You can see that last year in May, I started buying Bitcoin. Price was around $8,000 and I started buying Bitcoin heavily and then also went into some Ethereum. So, and since then, most of my bags have been in Bitcoin and Ethereum until beginning of this year when I started to diversify into the layer 1s. And over 70% of my account was still in Bitcoin and Ethereum throughout this year, which means 70% of my portfolio didn't do that well because Bitcoin's been range bound 30 to 60K. Ethereum's been range bound too. People keep saying Ethereum's so strong, so strong. Yeah, I understand all the technical say it's so much stronger than Bitcoin, etc., etc. It's much safer, etc. But it's still been more or less $2,000 to $4,000, right? My other percentage of the portfolio, which is about like roughly 30%, did like a 5x. While this has been pretty much range bound. So at this, this question is real for me. Should I sell everything and just go deep into these layer 1s and place my bets heavily between those? Take those 70% and just move it. Move it to the Solana VAX. Let's get into the first one. So what's really going on for Solana? Highest recap, rapid fire. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The fastest blockchain right now. Speed beats decentralization. The market spoke. The raise is 340, like huge backed. It's not just backed a little bit here and there, like hugely backed. There's some very, very, very smart people behind this project that put a lot of their money in, and they will do whatever it takes to push whatever it needs to be pushed in whatever mechanisms, right? Whether it be PR, manipulation, funding the dApps on top of the blockchain, whatever it takes, they're gonna do to make sure it succeeds. Long story short, its debates got kind of ironed out, right? Oh, it's not decentralized. You could plug it in and out, all those little jokes. Nobody cares about decentralization. Grayscale launches Solana in their trust now. So all those institutions that are yet to come in with the wall of money in 2022, I'm not really sure if they're going into Bitcoin and Ethereum anymore because they might just choose Solana. Next up, Avalanche. I mean, they just have been crushing it. And I'm not even just talking about the price, but they are absolutely crushing it. All metrics, again, different than Solana. Obviously, it's a complete different blockchain, but they just, they hit their roadmaps after roadmaps after roadmaps. They make promises, they keep their promises. Again, speed crushes it. 45,000 versus the ones we're looking at. What is this, single and double digit stuff here? 2 seconds for finality times. I mean, this is like, it's fast. It just works. Have their own domain system coming up, Avi domains, and it's basically the whole thing that happened with HNS, ENS, with Ethereum is happening in AVAX right now, right? So it might be more important for you to claim your name there if Ethereum is gonna be not as big anymore, basically. Not to mention, throughout this year, a lot of times when the market's been down, AVAX has held on. Now, when it comes to fundamentals, you don't really look at price, but it is nice to see when something holds on when everything else is taking a hit, because it shows overall demand, community, and bullishness, confidence by the majority of the shareholders in this project compared to the rest of the market. It's like early signs. A lot of times you can see that some coin that holds up really well during down days, that it has something going on in this ecosystem. Coming to the number 3 candidate of Soluna VAX title, it's Luna. And Luna is basically interesting in the sense that the amount of damage these guys were able to do just by having the most powerful decentralized stablecoin. I didn't understand much about stablecoins and how much power they have until I started to look into like Luna and USD and why does it work. And basically, stablecoins is really the foundation of the entire crypto market. Companies, people who have billions of dollars, right? The easiest sell in their head is still, okay, I'm keeping my US dollars. I don't know if I'm going to speculate on, Luna or this new thing, but if I want to just move some of my money, still keep it pegged to the USD, but I get 10-15% return on it. That is crazy. So that's the magnitude of volume in USD. Not only that, but also all trading happens in stable coins for them to park their money until they enter and exit out of things, which is a big percentage of the entire global GDP, you could say. So for them to have the number 1 decentralized USD, which is not bound by anything that the government can do, where in the United States we know that the government could shut down stable coins because it directly competes with them, and their one is decentralized. So it is like the only one that falls into that category, whereas almost every other stable coin could be under attack by US government. Like, the only drawback I can think of for Luna really is that none of the exchanges in the United States offer them, right? It's probably because of the SEC and the whole thing with the stablecoin. And to that extent, it leads on to show that a lot of their ecosystem is in Korea, even though some parts are obviously global, but some of their ecosystem is in Korea itself, which is kind of like a little bit, how do you say, like, it's just a fact, and it's just a little bit of a drawback, you could say. But all things being equal, guys, that's Soluna VAX. There's a couple other contenders you could say. I'm sure, FTM, Polygon Matic, etc., etc. But the point of this video is it time for us to change our mind and really make that move? And my answer is yes. And it's a hard one and it's a tough one, especially if you're somebody who's been holding this since like before this year. Mentally, it's a little bit daunting and a little sad. But it is what it is. And I'm not saying that you should not have any Bitcoin, Ethereum in your portfolio, but what I'm saying is that, in my opinion, for 2022, might not make sense to have 70-80% of your whole portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum. It might be time to diversify out of those positions where you maybe have 10 to 20% of each of those things, and over 50-60% of your portfolio being in some of these stronger layer 1 altcoins. Now, if you want to look at what is fundamentally one of the top L1s or L2 solutions that's going to really take off in 2022, there's some metrics that most people don't even talk about. I'm talking about number of developers, dApps being built, their ecosystem, a metric to show how much of their economy is built on real value. One of the top researchers in the space actually broke down a fundamental thesis outline to see which of these coins are going to be the most strongest going in 2022, and I'm going to be breaking that exactly down using metrics that nobody usually talks about. And I can bet you it'll be your time worth watching that video if you're really interested in this, which one's going to be the number 1 or number 2 in 2022. So if you want to watch that, please go down below, click this link. It's going to be showing up somewhere, and that's going to take you to that video. With that being said, thanks for watching, guys. But my answer is yes, it is time to diversify out of this big coins.